You are not as good as you think you are. And let me explain why that is actually a good thing. So, I was thinking a lot lately about how I feel about myself, my own skills, what I've learned throughout the years. I've been on the entrepreneurship journey for over 4 years now. I've worked for big names in the industry, top setter for Iman Gaji, yada yada. I feel like I've had my fair share of experience in this online business type of industry and whatnot. And outside of that, this applies to absolutely everything. But I started to realize that when I first got started, for example, in sales, when I first got started, and I learned a tiny bit about it. I learned some of it. I watched a couple of programs and whatnot. I felt really, really, really confident in my sales skills and my sales knowledge. I felt like I knew a lot. But in reality, I was just getting started. I was just starting to learn, just starting to experience, and I felt this sense of confidence that was unfounded by experience and by knowledge itself. And this is something that happens to a bunch of entrepreneurs, a bunch of setters, a bunch of closers, a bunch of people that are especially within the online business niche, I would say. People that are, selling programs and things that they are absolute beginners on, or whatever the case may be, you know? So there's this graph right here, which hopefully you can see. I don't know if it's mirrored, but it explains it easily to understand. So you probably have seen this graph out there. I just drew it because I thought it looked good, it looked cool and whatnot. But yeah, this is the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's the name of this effect when here's confidence, here's knowledge. And when you first get started, your confidence levels are way up, not founded by reality, actually, or not backed by knowledge, by actual knowledge and experience, which is fine. I mean, it happens to absolutely everyone, or most people at least, and especially, again, in this industry, or when you're an entrepreneur or whatever. You have an ego. Like when you start, you feel the sense that you deserve more than other people, that you are destined for greatness, that you're destined for X, Y, and Z, right? I feel like that's most of us, or maybe I'm projecting a little bit, but definitely when I started, and I definitely still have some of it for sure, is ego, right? I feel like I'm better at doing what I do than other people. Of course, I can recognize when someone's better than me as well, but coming back to the graph, pretty much you start, confidence goes way up when you have a little bit of knowledge, when you understand a little bit of information and you gain a little bit of experience about something, your confidence levels just go way up, and you just feel this sense that you're an expert about a certain topic, or about whether it's marketing or whether it's history or whether it's whatever you think you are an expert on, right? And then you start realizing that there's more information and your confidence levels start to decrease. And I want to preface this by saying that this has nothing to do with mindset. Like, you can always feel like you're good at stuff. You can always feel confident in yourself. What I'm saying is your confidence levels on a certain skill set or in a certain specific topic will decrease once you know and understand that there are people out there that are way better at that than yourself. Or when you start to realize the amount of vast knowledge that there is about a specific topic. For example, when you first get started in sales, I'm going to use sales as an example because it's something that I've worked with for years. When you first get started in sales, you learn about discovery. You learn what discovery is and how that works, and how you take the prospect through whatever current state, desired state, the gap. You get the first idea of the concept, right? You're here. You're just starting to learn about the process itself, and you feel confident about it when you first learn it, because you're like, oh wow, I didn't know that before. I was just reading a script, or I was just whatever the case may be for you or for that person in this specific example. But then you start learning that there are different ways of selling or different personality types, the human psychology behind sales, and your confidence levels start to drop because you're like, oh shit, I actually didn't know as much as I thought about this. And it's kind of like a paradox because you know more here than you did before, but your confidence is down. And an expert or someone that's advanced, they have more confidence than before, but most of the times the confidence level on the skill set never goes back to the peak, which usually happens when you're a beginner. And this is super interesting because what that creates in today's day and age in social media and whatnot is people that are here creating content about a specific topic or teaching a specific topic when in reality they're still beginners, and people that are advanced to still create content and whatnot, but way less advanced people teach like topics. I know it sounds kind of weird. I know it sounds kind of paradoxical, but it is true. I've seen this happen many, many times. Like I've seen, like those type of programs where they tell you like, oh, you should help info product owners scale, and it's your first business ever. It's like you've never sold anything. You've never done anything. And we have like people like that talking about how to scale your info product or how to X, Y, and Z when they've never done anything remotely similar to that. And I'm not throwing shade at anyone in particular, but I just thought this graph was super interesting. And the point of all this video, because I feel like I'm kind of yapping at this point. Holy shit, it's fucking hot. Let me turn on the AC. There we go. All right. So the point of this video is I'm not going to say it's like, you need to find a balance, because I don't like that word. I don't like using balance as something to refer to. But what I do think is that when you start in something, you have to be very aware of how you feel about that skill set. And it doesn't matter where you're at in the journey. It doesn't matter if you are, 1K a month business owner or sales rep, or whether you're a 10K a month business owner, sales rep, 100K a month. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at. You always have something to learn. There's always someone better out there than yourself. There's always more knowledge and more depth in which you can go to understand things deeper. And that's the whole concept of this video. That's the whole point of this. That it's absolutely fine to accept and be humble. That it doesn't matter, again, where we're at in the journey. It probably still applies mostly for beginners or even intermediate people in the space. But you never are as good as you think you are in something, and you're also never as bad as you think you are, which is kind of interesting. But again, the whole point of this video is just to remind you that whatever you do, whatever you are in the journey, just remind yourself to stay as humble as possible and to always seek more depth. I'm not going to say necessarily knowledge, because it's not knowledge always what we need. We sometimes just need to remind ourselves of the fundamentals, or sometimes we just need to remind ourselves to go deeper into something, to just expand what we already know. And that was the whole concept of the video. I really hope it was helpful. This is also like a video that's really a reminder for myself, because I feel like I've fallen into this trap multiple times, and I want to stop stumbling with the same rock. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm going to make a lot of videos about different topics, business, sales, X, Y, and Z, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. So